Eddie George in his time was a beast. He was a beast in his era. For some crazy reason, I don't know why, but to a degree I feel that he's forgotten. So have we forgotten about the great Eddie George, the former Heisman Trophy winner? Eddie George was the man in Ohio State Buckeyes. In 1995, he won the Heisman Trophy award. And then he made it to the pros in 1996. It was the Houston Oilers at the time, but his career really took off in 1999 when the team moved to Tennessee and then it became the Tennessee Titans. 1999, it was something magical to watch. You had the Music City Miracle in the wildcard game against the Buffalo Bills, but my first and earliest memory of Eddie George is the run, as I like to call it, the run against the Indianapolis Colts in the divisional round game in 1999. He ran for 162 yards, and from there they went to Jacksonville on the road again. They won. They went to the Super Bowl, and that was the first Super Bowl that I ever saw. The Titans versus the Rams. And it's interesting because the running game was a part of their formula. So in the Super Bowl, in the first half, they didn't do that. They were passing more often. Steve McNair was a good quarterback in his time, and I feel that Steve McNair and Eddie George complemented each other as a quarterback and running back duo. But the running game was their bread and butter. So in the second half of the Super Bowl, they started to run the ball more, and they kept the game tight. They were within 1 yard short to tie the game, but it didn't happen. So Eddie George was determined to go back to the Super Bowl in 2000. But then a team, Baltimore Ravens, got in the way. So, and the rivalry between Eddie George and Ray Lewis was very hostile and intense. Both of them, they respect each other's game, and both of them worked out extremely hard in the offseason because that's the one person they kept in mind and wanted to elevate their game. So I remember watching that divisional round game. Ravens defense was phenomenal that year. That's the best defense I've ever seen. So Ray Lewis and the Ravens got the best of Eddie George and the Titans in the divisional round game, and Eddie George knew that whoever won that game was gonna go win the Super Bowl, and that's exactly what happened. But Eddie George in the late 90s and early 2000s, he was a beast. He was the man. He was the guy. And he was one of my favorite running backs when I started watching football. I started watching football late 1999, and Eddie George was Eddie George, Fred Taylor. Those are two guys, and there's more running backs as well. Tiki Barber at the time as well. So, like guys like Fred Taylor and Eddie George, whom Ray Lewis had to see them twice every year because they play in the same division. They were no scrubs. They were a beast. And both of those guys, in my eyes, are Hall of Fame caliber players, especially Eddie George. But not everyone can make it to the Hall of Fame. But to me, Eddie George is a Hall of Fame player. And it's a shame that I always wonder what if, because after the 2000 season, he had an injury on his foot, and he just wasn't the same after that. But in 2003, which was his final season with the Titans, he got redemption in the 2003 wildcard game on the road against the Ravens, and he dislocated his shoulder. And usually when players dislocate their shoulders, it's not guaranteed that they will come back and play. But Eddie George, he popped, I think it was his left shoulder, he popped it right back in, and he said no. He said no. He didn't want Ray to get the best of him. It's a playoff game. It's his final season with the Titans. So therefore, he was not going to go out like that. And this is what he said. I was willing to die on that football field that day because he knew that going up against Ray Lewis, you really had to be on your A game. And he got his revenge on Ray Lewis, and the Titans won the game. They lost the following week against the New England Patriots, but it was a good chapter to close on his Tennessee Titans career. Shout out to Eddie George. What a phenomenal talent he was, and I believe he's a coach now. And I just feel that this is a reminder of, what a beast that guy was. I know you guys heard me say 3 or 4 times already in this video, but he was beast mode before beast mode, at least in my eyes. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and as always, be safe, and may God bless you all.